All right. Hello, everyone. Know that reminder email went out like 5 minutes ago, so we'll wait for everyone to filter in the room. But hi, my name is Lisa. I am part of the team at PhotoDay. This is Brian Durinsky and Becky DeCenti. They are two of PhotoDay's Trailblazers. Trailblazers are early adopters of PhotoDay who made it work. They were among the original users of PhotoDay, so they've been with us from the very, very beginning. So thank you guys. And today's webinar is all about boutique volume photographers and how to use PhotoDay for that specific genre of volume photography. So, oh, hey, Tim. Hey, Melissa. So yeah, if you guys, at any time, I'll just go over some housekeeping. There's like a 10-second delay between the time we talk and the time we see your chat. So there's just that little delay. So if we don't get to your questions right away, we're sorry. We will catch up and get to all questions as they come in. And then if at any time we freeze or the sound stops working or whatever, you should have a reconnect button right at the top of your page, or you can go ahead and refresh. Now, if myself or Brian and Becky have problems, we'll have to restart and come back in. But it should all be okay for everyone. So let us know if you have any issues, shout out in the chat, and then we will hopefully get right to it. But welcome, everyone. Oh, hey, Catherine. So yeah, so let's start it off a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you, Brian. Let's start with Brian, and then we'll go. Well, actually, or should we do ladies first and start with Becky?
Ladies first is fine.
Ladies first, Becky. Let's talk a little bit about your business, when you started, and what you do.
Well, I am the true mamarazzi. I was a mom with a camera. And started off in the cheer world, and then this photographer or this asked me,
"Oh my gosh,
coasters for her team," and one thing led into another, and we kind of went from there. So it's been about 7 or 8 years. I worked full time, and then it got to the point where designing was taking up my time while I was at work. And so we went to being a full-time photographer.
All right. So this is your 9 to 5. This is your day job plus weekends and evenings in the world of
I was going to say, is it 9 to 5? Because I think being a business owner, it's more like
there's no such thing.
Wake up to go to bed.
Roll over and check your phone at 3 a.m. and say, oh, I forgot to do that type thing.
Definitely. That was why I couldn't work anymore, because when I was designing the individual designs, I'd be thinking about it while I'm trying to serve people their dinner, and I'm like, oh, did you want to, oh, wait a minute, you don't want to move that basketball player over there, you want your Coke. So
ingrained in the brain. What about you, Brian? Can you tell us a little bit about your business, what you got going on at Brian Durinsky Photography, and how long you've been in business?
Let's see, I started the business about 12 going on 13 years ago. About 2009 is kind of when I officially started. Really didn't pick up volume until about 2010, late 2010. I got into it, just kind of offered my help to another photographer who looked like he was drowning in work and couldn't get through the kids very quickly. He was a great photographer, did decent work, just needed some help. So I left him my business card and said, hey, let me know if you need some help. And like 3 days later, I've got this huge soccer league that we're doing Saturday. Can you shoot with me? And so that's kind of how it started. And he decided to move off about a year and a half later to go back into more commercial work, and just kind of left me with what he had going on. So I picked it up and ran with it. And I only knew what he had taught me at that point. So it was really kind of trial by fire once you have your own business, and, all the contracts are now yours. And so I did large volume. It was more rec league stuff. I didn't get into the boutique thing until probably 2014, 15, when I was just using more of my photography skills and my graphic design skills to create composite work for a small team that I had a friend who had their son on it, and they wanted something cool. So I said, sure, I'll go shoot them. And so, I did it on a gray screen. I didn't even have a green screen yet. Like 2 lights, and they were, just speed lights. It was just starting out with what I had, and kind of went from there. So it's been growing quickly, and it's just amazing how fast things have picked up just even in the last 2 years. So
yeah, and it's so different. Back when you started and you took over that business, I mean, there wasn't a lot of resources out there to help. You were kind of just fly by night. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about PhotoDay, right? Is the community and the support.
Oh man, if I had all of this when I was still starting out, it's like hitting the ground running comparatively to in 2015. All you had was a couple of podcasts, and nobody was doing any podcasts about volume really. And there weren't a lot of videos out there. And really, if you wanted to learn something, you probably should have gone to a trade show. But at that time, I didn't think much of trade shows. I didn't know what they were about. I didn't really, I thought they were just a vendor floor with a couple of classes, a couple of like platform classes, and that was it. So I didn't really care about that stuff. So I just, doing my own little thing here in Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, I remember when I originally I created that PhotoDay users group, and it was before we actually went live, and you guys were in it, and there was only like 12 or 15 of us in that group, and now there's over 1,500 members. It's insanely different and that was only 3 years ago. Like all of this in 3 years, I can't believe how much processes have changed, what matters changed, everything has changed. So let's talk a little bit about what today's topic is. What is this boutique volume? Like, how would you describe it, Becky? Like, this was kind of something, you started a group among our small group of users at the time called Boutique Volume. And at first I'm like, what is she talking about? I have no idea. So enlighten us.
So boutique volume in my world is basically working with a lower number of athletes, but providing them with the premium product. But you're still doing it in larger numbers. You can, to me, boutique volume is up to 100 athletes. The fewer the athletes, the more premium the product. The more the athletes, the less we can really go into major boutique. But I would rather do boutique volume, say an all-star or a travel baseball league or something of that nature. You get 10 athletes to 15, and you're able to do so much more for them than you can do just trying to churn out great photos. So for me, boutique volume is what you see behind me. Those are things that you can take that extra time to provide them with an amazing product that is fully customized for them.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Well, for me, it is the numbers. It's really not volume in terms of, hundreds of teams with, 12 to 15 kids per team. It's not that kind of volume. You can't it's a level of detail. For me, it's really about the quality and the level of detail I can provide with the images. So it's not just about, high-end compositing. It's really, did the hair look good? Did I get that shirt ironed out right? Are the the shoes, if I'm doing shoes, are they, do they match? Do everybody's shoes match? It's really the details and the amount of time spent with each player is a little higher because you want all that, one of those little details refined out so that they just look better. If you're doing, little snot-nosed Tommy at age 5 who just won't let go of mom's leg, you're not really worrying about his hair looking good or if his jersey's right. You're just care if he's looking at your camera. I'm usually doing mostly middle school and high school teams. I do travel ball, so I do get a range from about 7-year-old. But in travel ball teams, they're a little bit more coachable. They respond better to direction and they understand it. And those travel ball teams all have dress guidelines. So once they show up, that they're going to show up with the right shoes. They're going to have the belts. They're going to make sure that all the pieces of the uniform are there. So that it looks good and it's all cohesive. It's really for me about the amount of time I spend per player and the quality of image I get out of that. So, each of this image right here was just I worked with these. This is a high school senior banner shoot. Honestly, all of it was just about getting them a senior banner, but I took the shoot further. I spent, probably 5, maybe 8 minutes with each player to work on some poses, see if they, have a conversation with them, talk to them through the process, and, really eke out a decent pose out of each shot, and see if they had any ideas and collaborate with them. I mean, they're high school kids, so there's a little bit of play there. And so I worked on those, and this came out, and he just loved it. He really wanted something with his visor. I'm like, dude, I can't see your face with your visor. He goes, I don't care. So I moved that side light around just enough so that I could catch just the inner part of his face. You don't have time to screw with that when you're when you're doing 100 teams. If the light's wrong, then it's probably wrong for a good 10 or 12 players until you figure it out. So with this, I was able to shoot, look, okay, move things around, move him around, move him back and forth into the light and out of the light until I had it right where I wanted. That's the detail. So that's where boutique for me comes in.
Now,
I think
you
it
said,
also,
go ahead, you go.
I also, like, after they become accustomed to it, that's when, like, they come out with, like, the most amazing ideas. Tons of people ask me if we have posing guides, and I have to be very honest. As I go through, if I see something on Facebook that I like, I save it to something else. And I show up to shoots, and it's so awesome. They're like, oh my gosh, where are the chains? We got to get the chains. We got to get the weights. It actually is kind of funny. We even bring lotion for them to, they do. Am I wrong, Lisa?
I've seen this in action.
They do 10 diamond push-ups before they get in front of me. And then we lotion them. They lotion themselves up. And then it's about finding, my son's an athletic trainer, so knowing what you can do to make muscles pop and to make these kids look bigger than life. And so yeah, it's something that after a while they're like, oh, wait a minute, I want to do this pose because I saw so-and-so do it. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Brian, about this shoot. You had mentioned this was a banner job, right? So was that somebody bought all the banners up front from you and then you went out and do it? Or how did that sales cycle look?
So that sales cycle is a booster club called me up. This is my home school, so I know most of these people anyway. They called me up to say, hey, we want to do a big, banner this year instead of doing the individual banners. So can we do a big banner? And what's that going to cost? So I shoot them out a quote. I use 17 hats to run my business. I couldn't do it if I didn't. It's has an automated system for me. So I sent them the quote. They paid me up front, came and did the job. And then, of course, I saw the opportunity to go ahead and make more out of this than just doing, okay, give me 3 poses and I'll put you together and put you in a banner. I could have done it and been walked away and still made $350. Instead, I go ahead and work with each player to get them more images so that it's kind of like a specialized, I'd almost swear it's like, it's like a mini session for each player. They didn't hire me to do that, but I had the time, so I went ahead and did it. And I actually think I had one sale out of that gallery within 4 or 5 minutes of me posting it. It was like $360 or something like that. And she bought every image as a digital product. So
wow,
it was just it was crazy. But it may even add to their senior high school photos. So they may not have gotten this kind of work out of their senior photographer. As another, that's my secondary business is senior photography. I get most of my seniors doing sports. So maybe their senior didn't get what they wanted out of that. So now they've got all this on top of it. So
that's pretty awesome. It does open up. It sounds like Boutique Volume really does open up that door for additional opportunities for more high-end portraits, right? Yeah. And that's, we love, as creatives, you guys love being creative. That's the whole reason you're into this. So it kind of feeds into and nurtures that inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, it's fun.
Yeah. This is an image by Becky, actually. You are known in the world as the cheer photographer. So why can't you give us some insight? Like, how did you create this? What's your workflow? This is Boutique Volume. Like, how do you even get to this point? Oh, I can't hear you. I'm mute.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yes.
trying to hide my dogs. I apologize, guys. So what happens is, depending on the numbers is how far we can go, depending on the venue that we're using is to how crazy we can go. This shoot right here was a sign-up shoot, and I absolutely loved it because everybody who came to the shoot, it's not about how much you're going to prepay, or it's not about all that other crazy stuff. If you offer them a great quality image, the money will come. Randy asked just a moment ago about, do we offer this service at upfront price, or is it 100% on speculation? If I use 9 out of 10 times, if we go to a situation like this picture, these are real smoke bombs. It was all about the experience. And I think that Brian would agree with me that the difference between volume and boutique volume is providing a level of experience. With my all-star travel leagues, I'm coming in to design a banner for them to use for their travel leagues that is a composite product, but also is they already are like, okay, we know we're going to pay this. And if anybody's been around a while, they know that I usually just charge like a $10 deposit. And if anything, I do charge a $10 deposit. I don't go crazy. The work speaks for itself. And I think that Brian's the same way, where people know you and know what you're looking for, know what you provide, and then they come to you automatically looking for that.
Yep.
And then the sales come with it at the end of the day.
Yeah. So essentially it's like, it sounds almost like mini sessions, but for sports. In other words, like, the family portrait mini sessions,
That's
but more for like the sports world, right?
Right. I mean, it's really the same way. You get hired to do a banner job, and then you turn it into a mini session for each player. So that's how you get the extra sales out of it, and that's kind of how I've structured mine, as well as I'm sure Becky does too.
And honestly, and instead of having 30 players who are going to have a average of $20 per order, or whatever the case may be, because you're just trying to get them in, get them out. If you're going to do this type of work, you have to be very direct with the people that you're working with, that this has to be a specific time that we work on these items. And it's not so much a turn and burn. How fast can you get the players in and out? Even though it can be done, it's not. This is when you want to provide that extra level of service and the experience. Boutique volume to me equals an experience.
Yeah, I have to end up telling my coaches that hire me, don't plan on having practice. Make it a photo session. Or if you want to have a practice, then let's schedule on a day you're not practicing. So we can give them the images and the quality of experience that they are hiring me for. I mean, I've picked up 5 more teams in the last week because they've seen my work that I literally just posted out, as well as just prints have gone out and banners. They've seen my work and gone, hey, we loved what you did with so-and-so. Can you come and do that for us? So I have to kind of prep them, because they really can't, they have no reference to, all their references is, LifeTouch came and did our sports photos for the last 5 years. And, that's all they get is you get the 2 shots and you're done. And it is whatever they give you. This is a completely different process, and it's hard for them to wrap their head around. Okay, so I'm setting up a full studio. It's a green screen process, so there's work afterwards. I can't just post these photos 5 minutes after I'm done. I'm creating images for you specific for your school, and just specific to your program. So you got to I have to set the stage for them so they understand what they're going to get. Because I've had one where didn't have any idea, and they were like, "Well, it's taking you so long." I'm like, "Well, this is the process." So,
no, I definitely agree with that, Brian. And I think also that providing a unique product for each different customer, for me, is something that stands out. because I don't want them to go to another school and to see something that they've had. So using the same templates that everybody buys is not traditionally how I try to do things.
I've been trying to get away from that because it's starting to get saturated. I mean, the templates are great. They really do help reduce the amount of time it takes to get images out of here. As a graphic designer, I've been a graphic designer for 25 years. So, I can't afford my own hourly rate. If I had to sit down and design every template for every single group or every single team, I never would get work out the door. But there are a few that I have to use those templates on because I just the sheer volume of things. But I can't use them for everybody. This is a small community. I mean, yeah, we're the third largest city in Southwest Missouri, but still, there's 5 high schools that run through here, and they're hanging their banners up. So you don't want so-and-so's volleyball team to go see and compete at the other stadium or at the other gym, and they've got the same design that they used. So you really don't want that happening. We're smaller.
It is a little awkward. I really to touch on really quick Randy's question about, other than Lightroom and Photoshop, is there a program out there that's really good for black and white? Let me tell you that the greatest thing that I ever realized was V in Lightroom. You choose your very first image, click V, it inverts it to black and white, and then you sync the rest of your images, and you literally can turn all of your images into black and white within a minute.
Nice, helpful, fast, all about that production.
Yep.
So you guys were talking about custom templates, and I was thinking about this, looking through the images that you sent me leading up till today. And I'm like, not only does boutique volume, right? It means that one-to-one experience, those little mini sessions where you're building relationships with each individual customer, but it opens up the door for more opportunities because now you're knowing people on a deeper level. You might have a chance to ask them questions in a way that will give you more ideas for additional business. But also the images, the customized images you're creating, a lot of them, do you get model releases? You use them on your social marketing to attract more business? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Can you put up that one image that you used? That one's good, but not that one, the track one.
Oh, the track one, this one here.
So this was actually taken at the school there is no compositing done to this image at all. And this kid lives in a neighborhood, his house had to be $2 million, no joke. And his parent, I had photographed him for 3 years. He became a senior. He did lots of different other things, but he just he owned this image. And so I'm sure that Brian would agree that when you see it in the camera, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the image. Don't move. I got it. Here's your modeling release. Here's my cell phone number on the top. Fill it out, have your parents sign it, and text it back to me. This image actually is going to be used in a competition. When I took it and I saw him and everything, I fell in love with it. So that's how it works for me.
Yeah, I'll find that one image that I'll go ahead, like this one here. I've already had him his parents sign a model release. So I want to use this. I want to get it maybe even published. So it may go in a magazine or a competition of some kind. Who knows where I put it, but at least I've got the release to allow me to do that. And they're thrilled with the fact that, they may be published because, this photograph might make it into a magazine.
Brian, how many of yours have been published in Senior Inspire or Senior
magazine? I've had about, I want to say 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly. But I've only submitted the last couple of years. So I don't submit frequently.
You have amazing shots. Every time I turn around, I'm like, I need to find time to put this in there. Brian does amazing work in that aspect. I do have to say, one thing that's different, I think, between Brian and I is that I don't do senior sessions. I actually do. This sounds absolutely stupid. I'd rather do these boutique sessions and do 10 athletes than to do a senior shoot. Call me crazy, it works for me. But I know tons of people who like bank on it. And so for me, that's just that's how it works. You know, they spend a little extra time with me when we do our sessions. But yeah, we don't I don't shoot I don't take it to the next level. I like that mini volume.
When you do, you have some questions coming in about model releases. What do your model releases include, and do you give anything with the release?
Yeah, I'll give them a 16 by 20 print for just signing the release. If they get printed, I'll give them a copy of the magazine just so that they can have it, and they'll take pictures and brag about it online and stuff. So it's really a small investment for me to have them invest in marketing for me.
And you carry your modeling releases?
Well, it's on 17 Hats. I can pull it up and have somebody just, I email it to them real quick. They initial, sign, send, and it's done. So it takes seconds.
Brian's a little bit further along than me. I'm definitely a paper person, but I do carry modeling releases with me 24/7.
Well, you're not so much a paper person. You use PhotoDay.
No, that is true. There's certain paper that I do keep. Yeah. And Brian's definitely a 17 hat guy. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, I couldn't run my business without 17 hats. Really, it's allowed me to scale. I have 4 grandbabies that need my attention, and so between the 4 grandbabies, 4 kids, and 4 dogs, like life is a little crazy for me. But Brian, and also let me just tell everybody, I have tried to hire Brian, but I can't afford Brian. I've often said I might just hang my camera up for a little while and just travel and show up at everybody's shoots. Just find out when everybody's shooting and just show up at your shoot someday. Here I am, just show up.
I got picture day dates when people set up jobs in PhotoDay, Brian. We can arrange for that to happen.
Yeah, I'll just travel wherever, show up. You need a shooter? Hey, I'm here.
Brian, surprise.
Need a poser? Need somebody to explain PhotoDay to people. I'll stand there and do it.
Listen, Becky is always taking assistance. You can always come to Florida.
I'm thinking just about January might be a good day.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, Becky, this image, we have to go back to this image.
I love this image.
I mean,
really?
It's really cute. It is really cute. It's unique. As a mother, I would love an image like this of my daughters. Like, how I am with really cool pictures of my kids, especially because I mean, the bar is just so high. I'm friends with a whole bunch of photographers. So.
Please, you guys have no clue how high the bar is set. I just photographed her girls for dance the other day, and I'm trying to turn them out, and I overshot. I had 500 images from doing a mini session with her girls, okay? And I'm trying to customize everything. It was really totally crazy. But
yeah, we're talking about boutique, not volume here. It's high volume.
Yeah. So this picture right here was really awesome. So what we did was, going back to when we did the smoke bombs, we went into the gym and we said, listen, here's the deal. We're going to offer all these pictures to you guys, but we want to go ahead and try out a bunch of different processes. So this girl showed up and she had wet hair. Okay. And I'm looking at her and I'm going, oh my God, what am I going to do with her? Her hair is not, she's not going to look like I want her to look. And then I had decided that I had brought the mister with me. And this was actually my first playing around with gels. And once I saw it, I just fell in love with it because her hair was already wet. And we used the mister behind her, and it turned out to be like this. So I don't get to play a lot A lot of people I know do, but this was a great opportunity, and I love this so much.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you just mentioned that, right? In boutique volume, sometimes you have the extra time to get even more creative, to explore that side.
I just did that volleyball shoot for another team, and I asked them if I could come back in the next day and use their seniors to do something cool. I said, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to work out, but I ordered a case of that aerosol atmosphere. And I thought, what the hell, why not? So I set up some gels, I set up the lights, and while I was there doing their senior shoot, I said, hey, can I just play? And they said, sure. And so they let me use one of the seniors, and we just kind of sat there and moved stuff around, and ended up having the coach running the aerosol can with the fog. And, it was a blast. And I don't have the image here. I'm seeing if I can find it and put it up here, but I think it's over on my mobile right now. But let me see if I've got it in this library.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it turned out great. And then she loved the images so much that she said, hey, could we do another shoot with the whole varsity, just the varsity doing this? And so it ended up growing into this huge thing. So now I've got a whole bunch more images that I can provide each of those players in their gallery. I mean, I think I said this earlier on the Facebook support in the Facebook group that, images are your inventory. They are your product. They are what you sell. If you don't have a selection of product, you're really not going to see those sales. You've got to really create that want, that desire, that fear of missing out to drive more sales. So if you've got 3 or 4 images and they're all pretty much the same, you're not offering variety enough. And that's really, I think, another aspect of boutique volume is variety. Changing it up, doing different things, working an image or working a pose or, different ways, different angles, add smoke, add fire, add water, that's one thing I really want to play with. I know there's another photographer out there. His name's Brian Waits. He does some really great stuff with spray bottles as well. And gels. And I've been wanting to play it like that. So I'm working on trying to find one of the girls swim teams that's going to let me play with some water and some gels. So we'll see.
Fun stuff. So, go ahead, Becky.
Well, I was just going to mention, so the pictures that you see behind me are actually of a volleyball team that they are what brought me into becoming a full-time photographer. And what started off as making a 4x8 banner for them, not individual. She wasn't worried about individuals. She wanted a 4x8 banner as my very first large composite. Has now turned into, we photograph the seniors. We do composites. We do their senior banners. We do all their team and individual. And then we also do a 4x8 banner. So that's the amazing thing about working with small groups, that it's not so much turn and burn. You get to milk them for as much as it's worth, and they know what they're going to pay.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of that, let's talk about how do you guys actually sell this? How do you communicate it? What type of gallery do you use? All that good stuff, because I think with this type of photography, you have to have, you're going to go out and you're going to spend the extra time, extra resources to pull it off. How do you ensure you get paid? What does that sales cycle look like? Who wants to go first?
I guess I can go. I send out flyers as early as I can. Lately, it's not been very well. I've been procrastinating. They've been a couple days before I shoot the thing. But because I do private galleries and I do advanced pay credits. Those advanced pay credits are available up until I publish the gallery, and so I send out an email with that description. I use the marketing flyers in PhotoDay a lot anymore. I used to do my own custom flyers and spend a lot of time designing stuff. And I love the boutique feel of that. It just sucked up so much time. It's like, oh, are you kidding me? I've got 12 teams. I got to do custom flyers and all this stuff. Yeah, it's just easier to use the marketing flyers, send it out. And I'll send that thing out 2 or 3 times. It doesn't hurt, because a lot of times emails don't get seen the first time, or even if you're 3 weeks early, and this is great. I love this. I'll send them out 3 weeks early, and the day before I shoot the thing, I never got an email. Well, I sent it out 4 times. Did you check your email? And a lot of like if people use their corporate or business email, there's some serious spam filters on those, and they won't even see anything like that sometimes. So I ask them to make sure they add a second email in their profile, so that it's a personal email and a business email. That way, at least they might get one of them. But I'll send it out multiple times. They'll usually get it, at least one of those times. And then I send out a published gallery. So I use the published flyer as well. So they know not only if they didn't opt in, they won't know that the gallery published. So I go ahead, and as soon as I hit the publish button, I make sure that I send out a flyer to remind people that, hey, check your email. Or check your gallery. It's open now. Let's see. I don't know, Becky, what else do you have? Because that's really my process is.
Depending on the size of the organization as to whether I do group or private, I strive for private because when you're doing those one-offs and you find that amazing kid that's just super photogenic, there's nothing worse than having it in the group gallery and then the parents saying, well, how come Robbie got to do it and my son didn't? And so I personally prefer, and I also, when I'm talking to my organizations, I let them know that by having private galleries, we're protecting their athletes, their kids. Specifically in gymnastics and dance, I have to tell you, doing boutique work, I do a lot of unique things, and I'm very, very cautious with those images. It is unbelievable because I don't want those pictures to end up in the wrong hands. So I try really hard to stick to the private galleries. I don't always get the opportunity, but that's what I do. Honestly, I use the resources that are already available. As I mentioned before, it was cool to try to do it uniquely, but I just don't have time. I don't have time. Yes, there are way too many Karens in the world.
Yeah, that's the reason I do the same thing.
No offense to anyone named Karen. I'll go and add that.
Oh, thank you. But yes, but we do group galleries. I never do public galleries just because I want to have some sense of protection over our organizations. But the private gives you so many more options than the group.
Yeah, and you're using Capture app with the private galleries?
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That
actually,
right there.
Can I tell a story really quick? Okay, so one of my photographers went to go shoot for somebody else. Okay, and this person, my photographer never slated before. She knows what it is, but she's never slated before. And so she went through the whole photo shoot and didn't slate for them. And thank the Lord, she had kept everything in a good, she's very, very organized. But she was like, listen, this isn't how we do it. This is the PhotoDay way. And it was very interesting because she was like, oh my gosh, do you know how much extra work that it would have been? And so I actually started PhotoDay with one project and then went full 200%, never looked back. I couldn't imagine not using PhotoDay for anything.
No, that Capture app, I swear.
Yeah, Capture is amazing. It was funny. Somebody called me today and she wanted a reprint, and I really did not want to go through rows. So I gave her a coupon code to cover the cost because it was just easier to put everything together than to do it that way. I mean, to each is their own, but when Capture app came out, all of those other things, knowing people are like, oh, I just paid my deposit. And I'm like, well, please hang on a second because my watch hasn't dinged yet. As soon as I get the ding, then you're good. And it's funny because it's there. And I can't think of many of the tools that we offer that I don't use. We're getting ready to go to the knockouts because why go through 5 different programs to do the same thing? So that's what we're working on right now.
Well, knockouts are there because you wanted it to be easier, so we put it there. So that's kind of how it works.
No, it's
yeah. I use the private galleries just simply to move my process along faster. I literally can hand my phone to one of the moms and say, okay, fill the green circle with their face and, find their name, fill the green circle with their face, and go take a picture of everybody. And then she'll bring it back. I'll look through it. Okay, we're done. And I can literally just run through and do my photo. I don't have to do any of that. I literally just have one of the moms just go take a picture, make sure there's nobody behind him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Capture app is just incredibly accurate, because if there's 3 faces in that photo, it's going to identify all 3 of them and then break it out into all 3.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of that support lately. They're like, it's mismatching, and I'm like, no, there's a kid in the reference photo behind the other kid, and it clearly matched him like you told it to.
It did one of them where I had the football helmet cradled, and the face mask was aimed right at the camera. It actually thought that was a face. So
it's incredibly accurate. And I do have to say, so we were on a shoot the other day. If anybody ever uses, so sometimes we'll use 2 types of galleries for one shoot. I just want to throw this out there. So if they refuse to give you the parent emails, but you have access to the parents, so I start a group gallery and I put that on advance pay. Okay. And all the parents can go through and collect their advance pay there. And then we take the information from the parents. We have multiple devices that they can do. And then we have the parents put their email address in there. And so then we don't have to stress about whether the organization gave us the information. We have it. The other day, I was so proud of my assistant that was working with me. I had a group gallery set up. I preferred to have it private, and they had missed. I apologize. It was a private gallery, but they had missed the whole 3rd grade for the school. And so she went through and just put everybody's name in, took their reference photo. And then once I got the information, I uploaded it to the system. The pictures matched. We were good to go. So there's a lot. Sorry, guys. PhotoDay, my alarm system. PhotoDay is a tool. And I've always said this, PhotoDay is a tool. And you have to figure out how to use it to your benefit. So it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, for sure. So can we touch a little bit on that the pre-picture day marketing again, like with advanced pay? Are you both 100% using advanced pay for the most part?
Yeah, I'll take the advanced pay, every single time. It's sometimes they get confused at what that means, but it's so easy to just explain that it's a credit applied to your purchase, and it's just a way for me to get you a free shipping code. And it's the only way you're ever going to get free shipping from me is if you do an advanced pay. So whether I get that many or not doesn't matter to me. It's an opportunity to get that out there. And if I can get 10, 15, 20 out of, say, 35, volleyball girls, that's awesome. That's, for me, that's a great percentage. And then I know they're going to buy. And it drives the sales. And honestly, we've said it before, money spent, money forgotten. So they'll get in there, see these images and go, oh, wow, I want that one and that one and that one. Oh, yeah, I've got a $40 credit. Okay, well, I can do this and this. And they forgot that they spent $40. And now they're only thinking, well, I'm only spending, 25 more or 35 more. So, when your average sales are starting to show up to be $65, $75 per, for a gallery, you're like, whoa, that didn't happen before. You certainly wasn't getting those with pay per forms ever.
Yeah, so. Definitely a different way to sell and market your services, right?
Yeah,
like that free buy-in versus pre-selling a package. Because even with so before PhotoDay, how did you even sell boutique volume? Was it all Becky, can you tell me what happened?
Okay, so before boutique volume, of course, you pass out your order form, or before PhotoDay, We did flyers for everybody, and you got your 50 or 30 to $50 orders. I have to say that before there was advance pay, there was Becky pay, and we have always done advance pay. One thing that's really unique to my company, we only ask for a $10 deposit. I know several people that are out there that do similar. And Melissa asked how much my lowest package price is. My lowest package is $32, and it has 2 5x7s as one pose and 1 8x10. That's what works for my company. Others across the country have different things. And the advance pay credit, Mark, you asked if they could use the credit. Advance pay has come so far since the inception of PhotoDay. We didn't have advance pay at first. We finally got it. It was something that was always meant to be put in there. And now the credits are used amongst all galleries. So hence why we set up the group gallery for PhotoDay for an event that we're going to turn into private. It allows them to get all that information, or allows them to go ahead and purchase that.
Yeah. What about you, Brian? What's your advance pay credit amounts? Any offers? How do you do that?
I've used the 10, 20, 30, or there goes my camera again, or 40. It's just it hits a time limit, I think, on the 5D Mark IV, and then it just shuts off.
Falls asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to hit the button every now and then to keep that from happening. Anyway, so I just use the standard. I give them four options, but at $35, at a $35 purchase, you get free shipping. So, and I've been actually upping that. I've been going from $35 to $40, and my top advance pay credit is $40. So there's a little bit of play there. It may overlap, but I haven't had any issues so far with having my advance pay credit match my minimum purchase. So to get the free credit, they always got to buy more. And the way that my packages are set up, there's really no way to just hit $40. You're going to be over just a little bit. So,
yeah.
So anyway, but I use that to drive the sales. I mean, honestly, and who doesn't love free shipping? Why wouldn't you go for that? So
yeah,
I think the Amazon effect.
I think my favorite newbie question for PhotoDay new users when they first adopt advanced pay sales method is, we'll get this like, somebody bought a $90 advance pay credit. I don't even offer that. I'm like, no, they bought 3 of your $30 credits because they really liked your picture. It's funny? It's gonna be amazing.
They're awesome. Well, before you flip it over to, we don't let them look at the packages before they purchase, because what happens is they see the packages and they see the advance pay credit and they're like, well, I can see these, but I want to see my pictures. So we always tell them that, so they will buy numerous advance pay credits thinking that we're holding their pictures hostage. Okay. And I'm like, no. I had somebody the other day, first time in forever, ask me for a refund because they had purchased an additional advance pay credit and they were up to like $40 or something like that. And I said, well, we can't refund you until we release the gallery.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because do you like that? So I mean, everybody's different, but it works for us. It's for our organization, except for specific schools, $10 is always required when we photograph them. And so they just know that coming up that, okay, I need my $10, or we do $20 for a specific group of people. But nothing's better than, they're like, I ordered another credit. I purchased another credit. And now we're getting past, I changed the way my verbiage is on my flyers. It usually says just send $10 with your kids the day of pictures. And now I dropped the $10 and people are purchasing $30 credits on a regular basis.
Nice.
Which
hopefully the questions are lower than they were in the spring. We did change also with PhotoDay. We changed some of the communication regarding advance pay based on feedback to make it more clear for your customer. So hopefully that is also preventing additional questions regarding advance pay. So far, it seems good for support, but we'll see.
If it works for support, that means that it's less on our side.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we're constantly making those updates. But yeah, advance pay is super cool. It's a really cool feature. PhotoDay is so different. Don't be scared of it. I mean, ask away in the users group. We have support articles. I have a whole webinar just on advance pay on how to change the way you're selling your images because of PhotoDay. And you can get the same results as Becky and Brian. So it's actually really helpful. So all right. Well, that concludes today. Oh, hi, Becky's dogs. So that concludes today's webinar. If you guys have any last minute questions, now is the time to ask them. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you, Brian, for your time. Becky, thank you again for your time. I know it's in the smack middle of busy season, so I am so glad we could arrange this date. I don't want to keep you guys forever and ever.
I'm literally running composites over here while we're talking on my laptop.
Not you.
I've had to you could probably hear the mouse clicking and clicking and clicking over here. But.
It's cool. It's awesome. But thank you. I hope everyone found something useful today in today's webinar. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your expertise, any pointers, everything. You guys shared some really great information. So thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. If you have any more questions, you can hit us up at support@photoday.io or in the chat bubble. And we hope to see you guys next time. Thank you.
You guys can always reach out to both Brian and I as well if you ever have any issues or questions.
We're always in the forum. So
we're always around. So thanks so much for coming to listen to us.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Guys. Bye.